All right, guys, welcome back to the Multiverse. So I've reached a bit of a dilemma here, and the dilemma is this. First of all, the channel has gotten big enough now with over 300 subscribers that we do have a lot of people in these multiplayer maps, and in all of our subscriber games. We have three going right now. What we're seeing is that people are becoming savvy. So it's not just that there's a lot of people. It's also that people are getting to understand that, hey, they can watch my videos and see what's going on with whatever coalition I'm casting at that time. So, for instance, in the new subscriber game, um, no, in the original subscriber game, that's right, the original subscriber game, Popcat and all of Europe had been watching Australia for a dozen videos, and they knew exactly what we were doing. And that's not to say anything against their game, but it is comforting to know that one of your big challengers close by, you can know exactly what they're doing, exactly what their troop disposition is, exactly what their plans are. It really gives you comfort and advantage because you can, if you know what the plans are, you know how far away they are, then you can actually adjust accordingly and attack elsewhere. You don't have to place as many troops along certain borders, whatever. Um, and so it's come to my attention also that, as of right now, one of my coalition members is at war with one or two other coalitions that are subscribers. So Papa Smitty, I believe, is at war right now, and he didn't go to war with them. They went to war with him. But the point being, I don't know how I could possibly cast this game and reveal his troop dispositions and so forth. So I think what I'm going to be limited to is, I think, just sort of brief updates, maybe. I don't even know if I can get away with that, to be honest. If I zoom all the way out here, you can't really see what's going on other than what you already know. But for instance, you can see some density here. You can see, there's a lot of stuff here. So I don't know if you have any suggestions as what to do, because I'd love to continue casting these games. It is fun. What if I went to clown quilt mode? Would that sort of cover it would cover things up a little, wouldn't it? No, because it still shows up in blue and white as my allies and myself in terms of the troops. So I was kind of hoping maybe that would, province morale doesn't help any. Yeah, so I don't know how to handle it. I think the only way to handle it, frankly, because people said, well, what if you delayed it a week? Well, if I delayed it a week, then now you know where we were a week ago, and you know what our plans were a week ago, because part of the fun of casting this is kind of letting everybody know what our plans are. So if you have a suggestion, let me know in the comments below. What should we do? I've already decided I'm not going to cast the original game and the new subscriber game. I don't know how I can do that in any kind of good conscience, knowing that there are definitely players on the map who are watching these videos and gaining advantage. And I knew that could be a problem early on. We talked about, and I think all the way to the first subscriber game, what would we do when we got deep enough into the game where it became a problem? And so I think, frankly, what we'll have to do here is launch a subscriber game and go ahead and cast it, and then maybe, after we have first contact with another coalition, then that's when I'll stop casting. And, the disadvantage of that is you don't get to see from start to finish an entire game unless you're in it, right? If you're in it, then, you get to see the first couple weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. You can get 21 days into a game before anything gets real serious. Like, for instance, this game, the Multiverse, now I always want to try to remember to do this, day 22. So probably right around the 3-week place is where I think I'll stop casting. So the bad thing is, our average viewer is not going to see a game from start to finish. However, I would suggest to you that it's really the most fun watching these games is when you're in these games. And we've got a good, I don't know, 15, 20 viewers that are in this game. So it's not like the fun ends, right? I'm going to stop casting this game, but you're still in it, right? You still get to see what happens. So that's the bad side, of course, right? That you don't get to watch it all the way to the end. But I would suggest to you the good side is I can open up new subscriber games more regularly, right? So one of the problems is I've been casting 3 subscriber games and my cavalry game, and I'm also doing a noob game in the background, and I'm going to release it all at once, which is sort of, if you've never played this game, let's take you from day one till maybe Air Force or something, So I'm playing that in the background too. So I got 5 games that I'm casting, but if I do it this way, then frankly I can just sub game 1, sub game 2, sub game 3. Every 21 days, we can come out with a new sub game, and whoever wants to jump in can, and I'll cast it, which will kind of keep it unified and keep us all focused for 3 weeks. And then once we have first contact, and it could be even after, it could be longer than 3 weeks. I don't know. But that's my thinking for now. If you have any better suggestions or other ideas of how we could manage this, then I'm 100% open to your suggestions. I'd like to solve this conundrum, but I definitely know, for instance, it has been suggested in this game that China is watching the videos and is using that to fight against whoever's over here, because China. But then I'm like, well, I don't know how that would be the case, because I don't have the intel on who's over here. What is this? On the, oh, that's a different, whoever's over here. I don't know. Um, but point being, sort of that, like, well, who is this? Indochina? Yeah. So I don't know if that, I guess Sichuan is the power over here. Yeah, China. But I don't know how that would work, because the truth is China has shared vision with me. So if anything, everybody can see what China's doing, right? But you can also kind of see, well, I mean, really, so these gray dots, these dark brown dots, whatever these are, that's what China can already see. The only reason I can see it is that my friend, with shared vision here, China can see it. So really, the only person who's being exposed here, deep in country, is China. So I don't know if I buy that. Speaking of which, we did have some allegations of gold mark spamming. I'm not going to talk about who those allegations were against or who leveled those allegations, but I will say that I'll just say this. To me, that's a serious allegation, and that someone is gold mark spamming, because it's not cool to do that. So I really need you to have evidence. And we've talked about what kind of evidence would be sufficient. Well, I just saw recently on the Reddit channel, somebody showed 12 railguns developing all at the same time. Well, there you go. Just go to the newspaper. Now, that's a blatant example, but if you suspect someone of gold marking, then do your due diligence. Go to the newspaper, right? You can look in the newspaper, see what they're developing. What you can do is go to day, say, 14, when factories first start to arrive, and track one province. Get out a notebook, do your homework, track one province. And if they're coming out with a cannon every 12 hours, or you even see where a cannon comes out 3 hours after another cannon, or so forth, there are ways, honestly, easy ways. And I don't mean easy like, it'll take time, but it doesn't take, you don't have to know algebra to do it. You just go to the newspaper and do your research. So anyway, in this case, the person who was accused clapped back and put everybody in their place. As far as I'm concerned, I remained neutral the whole time and said what I just said, which is, if you're going to make an accusation, a serious accusation, then you need to bring serious evidence. And so I'm glad that whole thing got resolved. But I'd like to just say, moving forward, gold mark spamming is not cool. I can see where, honestly, I can see where you might throw down a gold mark to save a territory from rebelling, or little stuff here and there, because we win gold marks when we win the game, so it's part of the game. It's just that I think everyone can agree that nobody wants a 9-year-old with their dad's credit card to win this game without any strategy, or not that 9-year-olds can't be good players, by the way. So no disrespect to all the 9-year-olds out there, but I'm just saying, like, we want this game to be skill and you know, tactics and understanding, wisdom, of how the game works. The problem is that some of the people who have the deepest wisdom and the deepest understanding of this game often get accused of gold mark spamming, uh, because what they do appears miraculous to the mediocre, right? So, again, what I would say is gold mark spamming is not cool. If you suspect that it's happening, as I have before in various games, then do your diligence, right? Please go to the newspaper and prove it. And if you can come forward with proof, then, I'm not going to, I mean, I can't kick anyone from the game, right? But I can certainly come forward in the video and say, hey, this has been proven. Here it is, and I can present that evidence. So, a lot of interesting stuff has gone on, like, especially in terms of China. China was accused of gold mark spawning. What? Gold mark spawning? No, spamming. And then those accusations were withdrawn, as well as the players around China started to say, wait, these guys are kiting us in real time. They're reacting to everything we do. And so, again, that was a second accusation of gold mark spamming early on, that they withdrew themselves. They said, you know what? No, these guys are just really good and really reactive and playing on point. So, again, that's a couple lessons to be learned, as in the greater community of 1914, right, of all players across the world. Maybe it's okay to throw out, you spam, or whatever, and whether you know it or not. But within this community that we've built, with mutual respect and appreciation for each other's skill and craft, we need to prove it. And I'm not even saying it doesn't happen. I'm sure it does happen, from time to time with players or whatever. So let's just lay that down, so that we can avoid any hurt feelings, or, undeserved accusations, right? Okay, so, I'm sorry to say, guys, I'm officially not going to cast this game anymore. It would be an unfair advantage to anyone who's at war. I would say, if I zoom in on China and show what his troop disposition is, that's an unfair advantage against him. And it's not really China. China seems to be his name. The actual player named himself China, but it's Central Sichuan. And the funny thing is, Papa over here, Papa Smitty, he always plays the same papal state. And I'll bet the same is true over here. That's why his username is China. He probably always plays Sichuan. And the thing is, that's what a lot of these really old school wise players do, is they burrow down into one territory and they learn all the ins and outs of it. And if they don't like it, they shift to another country till they find the perfect country that they love to start the game with. And then they really get the feel of it. They really, like, it's like wearing in a pair of boots, and once you've done it long enough, once you've played this country long enough, it's like you've worn in those boots. Now they're comfortable and functional, and you can really kick ass with them. I get the sense that's true of both of these players, that they're veteran players that have been playing the countries that they're playing for a long time and have learned certain really clutch strategies that give them an advantage. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is to be admired and imitated. So, I think you guys can probably hear those. That's not you, that's me. I actually left the system volume on accidentally. Anyway, I'll be sad to say goodbye to my 3 subscriber games. On the other hand, I will be super relieved, because as of now, I'll be looking for another 500 player map. And I'm going to be looking for a new strategy. We've talked about a King of the Hill model, where the top 7 players in the game can join the one and only. There'll only be one coalition, and the top 7 players of the game gain admittance to the one and only coalition. If you're not one of the top 7, you can sort of off in your corner of the world try to dominate until you are, and then eventually take over that top 7 spot. That's one of the ideas we had. Somebody said we could do this. This is kind of a cool idea. We could do a Dominion Mesopotamia game, which I might. The thing is, now that I'm not having to run 3 subscriber games at the same time, I can actually kind of explore with some other interesting things, knowing that I'm only going to commit 2 or 3 weeks to it. If we did a Dominion game, though, I don't know how we would do that because I'd be giving away my positions. Like if you're watching my Dominion domination game right now, um, imagine being one of my competitors who can see everything. So I don't think Dominion would be a good one to cast as a subscriber game. But anyway, those of you who've been watching along, I hate to yank the rug out from under you, but I think most of us can agree that at this point in time, with everybody like enough people now know like what's going on here that they can go to the videos. Um, in the original subscriber game, somebody said, "Yeah, we've been watching your videos and we blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, okay." The whole coalition has been watching our videos, and like plotting our course and seeing where we're going to attack and seeing what our strategy is and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. But anyway, I'll be sorry to say goodbye to the original subscriber, the new subscriber, and the multiverse here. But at the same time, keep a lookout. We're going to be coming out with fresh subscriber games. Looks like now every 3 weeks. And the thing is, now that I don't have these 3 to subscribe, I could stagger them. I could come out with, every week and a half, stagger them and have 2 games going at the same time. So that could be fun as well as we gain new subscribers and people who want to jump into games. You don't have to wait 3 months, because these games do last forever. Instead, you just have to wait a week and a half until the next one opens up, and I'll cast it for 2 or 3 weeks, which makes it fun and keeps us all focused. And then I'll have to stop casting it. So I kind of figured this would happen at some point in the game. This would happen, and probably the original subscriber game. I've been casting that one way too long, honestly. But I also feel like we kind of knew from the beginning that we were sort of doomed because we started in Australia, and it turns out that's not a great thing to do. Who knew? Or, if you do Australia, maybe what we should have done is just built up like high density industrial might there, just built and built and built factories everywhere. And then on all of our coastal towns, of course, build harbors, and then just try to build up like a mighty navy that just sails the world and destroys like, possibly that strategy. Instead, what we did, of course, was we streamed all of our guys and took over Asia, which was cool. But meanwhile, Europe just ended up swallowing up, all of Europe and all of Western Asia. And, so anyway, it's been fun casting these games, guys. It really has. And, like I say, it's not over. Immediately, as soon as I get off this game, I'm going to go ahead and start scouting for a brand new sub game. And once again, in the comments below, if you have any ideas for a cool sub game, that'd be great. Keep in mind, please, let me go ahead and jump over here to the there's the cat. Love that guy. So we have over here we have a specific, where is it? I don't want to get that going. Here we go. New sub game ideas. I have an actual channel that is specifically devoted to anybody who has a cool idea for a sub game. Come here, please. Either on the comments below this YouTube video, or come here on our Discord. Again, the Discord is right here. But if you don't feel like doing that, I'll tell you what. I'll go ahead and put that in the description of this video below. Can we make this a permanent one? No limit, expire after. Yeah, I'd rather it be no limit. Never. Okay, we'll make this one be a never expire. Let me copy that, and I'll put it in the details of the video below. And come over to new sub game ideas, because I love. It's like we got a bunch of people on this server. I'm not sure exactly how many. I think maybe 80 or 100 or something. But we got a lot of brains over here. So put those brains to work. Let's come up with some cool ideas. I mean, I like the King of the Hill idea, but it's pretty brutal, And also, I don't know what the logistics would be like. How do we, I was thinking we would look at the score, right? The rewards points, and then just the top 7 would be admitted into the one and only, what we call the one and only coalition. And anybody else who wants to take part cannot join other coalitions, because obviously on day 7 you have to be free to join immediately. If you can't join immediately, we'll go to the next person in line. That's one way of doing it. It's kind of cutthroat. It's kind of king of the hill. That might be fun. But again, I'm open to any ideas that you guys might have. So this has been great. I think it's time for a new chapter. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, or jump over to our Discord and join the conversation. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking in. We'll see you guys next time. Adios, amigos.